We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
I did. Oh, wow. Right on the tip. Just on the tip.
And Blabs. Co-hosted by our friends from around the internet.
There is a portion of Norway where it is legally required to carry a firearm at all times.
If you're just a normal man looking for common sense in this crazy-ass world, you've come to the right place. And now, broadcasting from our homes from around the internet, it's time for Side Scrollers.
Okay, you ready? Open wide!
Welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and SideScrollersPodcast.com. What is going on, everybody? Hey, happy Tuesday to ya. My name's Stuttering Craig. Great to see you guys. How are you? A little raspy still, trying to get over it. I think the allergies are in full effect here in the North Texas area, but hey, we're fighting through. I'll tell you something who is also fighting through. Sick. Straight up sick, but denied. Rejected to half court by the United States medical system. It's Blabs.
I bet if I was in the legal, I'd get assistance.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Sorry, I had to go there. Anyway.
Right off the bat.
Hello, chat. Sorry, I'm really sorry, but you kind of set me up and I had to go and swing. Anyway, hello everybody.
Oh my God, that's funny as shit. Great.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
I'd ask how you're doing, but I already know. But hey, Blabs, listen. Razor, listen.
I saw him giggle.
There are topics.
No, I was just we were talking about voting beforehand, and germane to that point, I think I'm actually going to steal an illegal alien's identity just so my vote will be counted.
Before the show, there are things that we talk about, and Blabs goes, I don't think we should talk about that. It's too political.
I know. It's very hypocritical coming from me, but you literally set it up, and I was like, I'm in a bad mood. I can't see a doctor. Fuck everything.
It's so funny because
we're going to call her Blabasita. Maybe we'll sneak her on through.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Yeah. Hey, I got a duodenum full of drugs. I got a Hispanic surname. Let me through.
It's so funny. I just love the idea that during the intro, Blabs is just laying gas down, like as she's going in, she's pouring gas on, and it's the first thing she said. She goes, just tosses that fire right on there, that little match. Well, anyways, great start today. We're off to a kick-ass start. Look, I'll tell you, the internet has given us a bunch of great stuff to talk about, and we're glad to be hanging out with you guys here. Once again, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time, just talking about the insanity inside the video game and entertainment space. But we're glad you guys are here. Thanks so much for being here. We are live over on Rumble today. We also have an X account where you could have found out that Razor was going to be on the show. If you haven't followed us over there yet, what the hell?
Yeah, what are you
Get over there and follow at Side Scroller Pod. We also have an Instagram account, don't we, Blabs?
We do, so follow us for memes and clips of the show. Otherwise, Razor is going to do something foul to your sandwich.
He may take your vote. How's that?
Yes.
It's good.
Makes no difference, really.
What? Foul to your, what would I even do? Evacuate my sinuses or something? I think both of you need to irrigate your sinuses, actually.
Need to get one of those, what are they called? The little neti pots?
Neti pots, there you are.
Yeah, I've done that
Those
before.
Things are amazing.
It's weird.
I had a crazy infection one time for a long time, for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I could not, my breathing was terrible. It just kept going on, and my doctors were trying to figure out what it is. One day, I, on a lark, pick up a neti pot, and I'm like, oh, I'm cured. That's all it took. That's all it took.
Well, have you ever done the neti pot before?
No, remember we had this whole conversation.
No, I don't.
We literally had this conversation last month.
She keeps coming down with Japanese AIDS, so we've had this conversation before.
Blast with the Japanese AIDS, I love it.
Yeah.
Sorry, rest in peace.
The kind of AIDS you only get from an animated tentacle, I think, is
gross.
I don't watch hentai, Razor. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Making this clear.
Well, no, I vaguely remember that. Blaz, it's been more than one day. All right, this is the thing.
I don't know what's wrong with Craig, but if it's been more than 3 days, he does not remember stuff. He's like a goldfish.
I remember it. Once you get past a certain age, it's what's a memory for? What the
Hey, it
hell?
doesn't
Am I,
even
He
matter.
needs a
how do I
backup
want to
plan.
remember?
If it's not in my calendar, I don't remember that's happening. It's a legit thing. If I don't get an email that says, "Hey, I got something happening right now," like whether that's business or personal,
You're to
it
the
doesn't
age
exist.
now. How often do you just suddenly you look around and you're like, how did I get in this room?
Joe, just go. Yo, what the hell was it? What, yeah, just Joe Biden it. Just gotta
Right.
shit my
Was I
pants.
driven here on rail car? How did this happen?
I'm 43, not 83. All right, guys, just relax. I'm in the prime of my life, everybody. Well, look, we also want to invite you guys to head over to sidescrollerspodcast.com and become a supporter over there. We'd greatly appreciate that. But if you are new to us over here on YouTube, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button. Join the 104,459 normal men who have found common sense in the video game space. And let's do our best to get to 1,337 likes today. We're growing that a little bit more every time. That's a little elite speak right there, which is great. But we got a lot going on today. We are we are all up in it when it comes to this Assassin's Creed stuff. We had Netflix shutting down a AAA game studio. We got an update on Twitch and all the insanity associated with that. We got a little DEI drama. We have a nice little conversation when it comes to DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, which should be interesting. I'll be interested to see how the chat responds to that. And hey, Razor, I don't know if you know this, but P. Diddy is in really bad way right now.
Really?
Yes, and apparently it got even worse.
A lot of diddling on today's show, if the outline is any indication.
All we need is
unfortunately.
Dr. Diddler.
Sadly.
Yes. If I am clipping, if it does sound like shit, I will gladly switch over to another browser to keep on going. Do I
You
sound
are
like shit?
cracking, and apparently
Yeah,
Chat says you are, but
It's like Rice Krispies a little bit.
yeah. I thought it was me
right.
because I'm having a bit of mic issues, but no, it's you. It's not.
I'll be right
me,
back.
it's you. Okay, bye.
Okay.
Anyway, it's just me now.
Yeah, let's just talk about Diddley, I guess.
Yeah,
What was-
that
what
made
was he
him want to
saying?
leave.
That's the worst
I'm
part.
out.
That's the worst part. He was in the middle of a setup. He didn't even set us up first before he split. It just. So what about P. Diddley? I don't know. He's gotten into crochet. I don't know.
Dude, I actually kind of want to learn how to crochet.
Yeah,
I kind of was
getting
taught
to
when I
that age.
was a child, but didn't really do like it didn't really sink in. I was like 7, not even. But now I'm just like, it'd be nice to make my own clothes. It'd be cool. Anyway, hi Craig.
Hopefully I'm good now. I made the
Yeah.
mistake of using Chrome for a little bit, and
Oh,
I
God.
thought to myself, hey, maybe Chrome will work today. But
Yeah.
alas, it did not.
Felt you weren't being spied on by quite enough government agencies today.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me just talk about that for a second. People
Oh,
bring
please.
their phones into the bathrooms.
Yeah.
You know they hear you shitting, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you do it? Like, I understand if you're in a
Yeah.
public area and you bring your bag with you, like, obviously, what are you going to do? Leave it outside so it gets stolen? But, like, why do people bring their phones to the bathroom?
And what are they thinking? Like, oh man, he needs to get more fiber. What the hell? What's
Right?
going on there?
Like,
Blow
what
out
is
an
like,
O-ring.
Jeffrey behind the scenes thinking? He's like, oh, what you doing today? Oh, no, he's taking a big shit.
Right. As I'm ordering a hamburger, they're like, no, celery, get celery. God damn it.
Exactly.
Well, I'm glad we can have these wonderful discussions on the show
Yeah.
and break through. This is good. This is important stuff to be talking about today. We do see every Rumble rant, every Super Chat, every direct donation. We'll read every single one of them throughout the show. So thank you guys very much, including Mercenary says, so I encountered a Karen in the wild this week that was high and screamed it. Her face was pure druggy. And in the picture I took, then drove off with a 7-year-old that may or not been hers. Want to see it?
What the fuck?
Not really, Mercenary, but I appreciate it.
Why would we?
Yeah.
I
Thank
don't
you.
want to live in a place where they also exist. Why would we want to see them? My goodness.
Thank you for your courage. Appreciate that. Lampshade says, question for Razor. Don't think Hunt showdowns should be crossovers, but since the door's been open now, anyone you want to see added in?
Did you see that? Like Hunt Showdown is doing the Fortnite thing. They're starting to do crossover stuff with major. This is a horror western, right? It's like it's like Red Dead, Undead Nightmare or something like that.
Okay.
They put Ghostface from Scream in it.
Oh yeah. Natural. It makes total sense.
You know what? You know what would fit here in this Old West setting? A late 90s slasher villain. There we are. Like, what the hell?
Anybody you want to see in it, though?
Oh, God, man with no name. The preacher from Pale Rider. There's a lot of people. That's what pisses me off so much about it. If you were going to do this, there's lots of characters that would fit. Jonah Hex, for Christ's sake. But
Worthyone wants to know if there's any modern day or current day wrestlers that impress you even a little. I guess not. Okay.
Okay. You know who's a good heel? Is MJF.
He's a phenomenal heel.
He's amazing. And he's completely committed to the gimmick. Like, he'll just get heat anywhere. Social media, interviews. He doesn't care. I love it.
MJF is pretty outstanding for sure. Yeah. Mercenary says, I'm getting sick of these 2 5-minute unskippable ads. Where are you getting these 5-minute unskippable ads? Shit. That's crazy. I'd be sick of them too. Lee says, off topic question for Razor. Who is more insufferable, Aussie stands or Dickinson stands?
Ozzy stands easily. Dickinson writes his own music. Ozzy's the Howard Stern of heavy metal. He has no talent of his own. He surrounds himself with geniuses, and they compensate for the fact that he's basically just a black hole of charisma and talent.
Big Mike says, Ubisoft in 2007, we removed the crossbow in the trailer because it wasn't accurate for the time period. Ubisoft in 2024, New York subway simulator. Right. It's a mess. Well, we're going to get into that in a little bit. Rob says, hey, guys, y'all need to Google Pharrell Williams Lego. I saw a trailer yesterday. Blabs, maybe do a little search on that. David says, now knowing that Sonic Cross Shadows Generations has been censored, I wonder how many Sonic fans are going to be playing Penny's Big Breakaway. Probably not a lot because they're so in depth. They love that so much, the Sonic franchise, that having them step away is probably not something that's going to happen. But that game does look pretty cool, that Penny's Big Breakaway. Mercenary says, to see them is to warn others like poison forgs. Forgs. Yeah. Thank you, Mercenary. Appreciate that. Vinton says, Blabs, please make sure Craig visits the optician. Thanks. Emperor Creatine says, if the government is going to listen to you making a grocery order, they can listen to my rendition of the Great Mighty Pooh and how only sweet corn makes it through. Thank you, Emperor Creatine.
God, you ever have to have a really noisy dump in a public stall where other people definitely are next to you? Like, just
I'll tell you this.
Airports, baseball stadium. I had an epic one in a baseball stadium.
Yeah.
Oh, that man, it was life-changing. It was incredible.
Did you feel lighter?
Man.
Right. The ones that drive me nuts are like at the public pool where they don't have the doors on the stalls. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? Yeah, the public pools out here.
Men's bathrooms don't have stall doors.
At a lot of public pools here in Phoenix, anyways, the stalls do not have. I don't even know why they have dividers. Like, at that point, why not just everybody's just shitting out in the open? Just
Well, in Japan, there are just like holes in the ground.
There's squatty potties in Japan. I took a picture of one. I'm like, hell no, I'd probably fall in there. But I do want to point out that in Japan, they actually have a button you can press that when you're taking a big ass shit, it makes like sounds and stuff. Yeah. It's called the privacy button. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's either like birds chirping or like water flushing or even sometimes
mostly at hotels though. Like, people don't have those in their
some
house.
of the public areas, they have the options, the privacy buttons and stuff. I'm like, what does this do? Boop.
Hey, this is the content you guys come for.
Yes.
Which is good.
Listen, if it's not a Toto toilet, I don't want it anymore. I want the heated seats, Craig.
I want the heated seats.
Yeah.
Listen, Blabs, with your exorbitant salary, you can afford one.
Definitely not. I don't even know if they make them in America.
Yeah, of course you can get the heated seat potty, for sure.
Do you have one? Is that why you know?
No, because I've seen them before. You go to Lowe's, they have heated seat potties.
Like in the bathrooms or like to buy?
No, you can buy.
Craig's going around trying all the bathrooms at Lowe's. Oh, this one's heated.
Well,
this one's heated.
Well,
why do you guys need heated seats? Are your bowels cold or like what is?
Dude,
well,
you've never seen a heated toilet seat before, bro.
Yeah, granted, every toilet seat is heated in Arizona, but
right.
Hey, John says, Razor and Craig, did you guys watch the Undertaker podcast with the former president? Did you guys see that? Did you see that?
I'm watching that after.
I watched about half of it, and it's mainly like Donald Trump asking Undertaker about wrestling.
Yeah, it's Donald Trump, dude. He's done the wrestling. He likes wrestling. He hosted 2 WrestleManias.
Yeah,
still the biggest WrestleMania buy rate ever in history. 2007 Battle of the Billionaires, Trump versus McMahon.
That is definitely talked about. He talks about how it may be the biggest ever. It was the biggest
ever. My favorite is when they shaved McMahon's head and they messed up the hedge clippers and cut into his head, and he started actually bleeding.
Oh,
it's incredible.
The way it goes. No holds barred. We'll play. It says, rest in peace, Paul Diano. That is, I'm doing research. That's Iron Maiden's first lead singer.
Yep.
Yeah, first 2 Iron Maiden albums.
Mercenary says, the no door thing is a military thing, not allowed. Huh. Interesting.
Still weird.
RoboChimp says, from the people who brought you Plain Talk, just get ready for Poo Talk. That's right.
It's better
than
Hawk
Craig doesn't make an intro for that one, though. No
Poo
thanks.
Talk?
No.
It's time for Poo Talk.
Razor's like, remind me why I come on again every Tuesday.
Hey, what's the alternative? I'm on Tuah podcast. Come on.
That's
there
right.
You go.
By the way, did you see the news about that Tuah girl yesterday?
She's over 100K now
on what?
On YouTube.
Well, good for her.
She's over at 160.
That's awesome. But did you see that she was apparently 20 years old as a senior in high school?
What?
Yeah, she was they call her a super senior. She was apparently she's dumb as rocks.
Oh,
that makes sense.
Hey, dude, freaking high school sucks. I hated it so much I graduated early. I did, and enrolled in a special program just so I could do work at my own rate, and wound up graduating a little early doing college. But dude, if I hadn't done that, I probably would have had to stay another year. I probably would have done the opposite because I just hated it so much.
Here you go. Here's a dude. This guy was doing a little. I don't know. He saw some research, or he saw like when she graduated or her date. Like, here, check this out.
So I saw this video yesterday of the Tuah girl when she was in high school. It even says her name in the bottom of her dancing. I saw the date on the video was 2022, and I was like, no way she's the same age as me. And this isn't a video from like the past either, because it was using a sound that was like trending during that time. So this had me perplexed, because I was like, I thought she was way older. So I checked.
Good word use.
She's 22, bro. Like, she's a year and a half older than me. If you're born in July of 2002, you should not be graduating in 2022. That's like class of 2020. So the Tuah girl is a super, super senior, bro. Don't even try to say, oh, this is.
She got held back twice.
Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah, that's an interesting question.
The only thing I can question is like during COVID and stuff, because they missed so much school.
You know what? Maybe that was a factor. I don't know.
Because a lot of kids are really stupid now because they miss so much school, and then they don't even really have school.
They're even stupider if they go to school these days. I don't know.
Oh man, Matthew's right. You should get on that podcast. That'd be hilarious.
It would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
She'd be like, "Why are you black and white?"
Yeah. How many BJ jokes can I work into an hour and a half? Yes.
Oh my God, you would destroy it. It'd be great. Dirtus King says Ozzy Osbourne is genetically the most Neanderthal man recorded. I buy it, but it is likely why he's alive.
I don't even know how he's still alive.
Yeah, he's all the
guy snorted ants.
Snorted ants?
You never heard that story? He's on tour with Motley Crue. They're all snorting coke. Surprise, surprise. And there's a line of fire ants on the sidewalk, and he's like, they're daring him to snort the fire. He snorts the fire ants.
My God, is that why his brain's all messed up? The ants ate his brain?
Right. I'm going to say this right now.
True story. He has told this story himself.
Hey, is there anything more metal than that, though? I mean, let's just be real. Like, that's pretty fucking awesome.
Biting off a bat's head is pretty metal. Although I'm pretty sure that story's fake. I've always suspected it was fake.
Wow, that's nuts. Were they fire ants? That's the other question. Were they just ants or were they fire ants?
For the purposes of the story, they were fire ants.
Ah, yes, of course they were. Always nice to take that the next step further. Kyle over on Rumble says, I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but my comments aren't showing up, and I can't do a YouTube super chat. Well, that's fucked up, Kyle. And then your friendly neighborhood Fed says, "Hey, Razor, fun fact: in Monsters Ball, the movie where Halle Berry won her Oscar per Razor last week, Diddy played a murderer who gets executed in the chair."
He was
Anyways,
an actor?
it says Diddy played a murderer who gets executed in the chair. Anyways, one can only dream, I guess. God damn. And Edward came into the two, says, "Feel better, Blabs. Godspeed, Razor Hill, Craig."
Thanks.
Hey, Kyle brought up something. He said YouTube doesn't let me comment on things. And Blabs, you wanted to have a little housekeeping when it comes to that.
Yeah, so over the last year, I've been seeing comments throughout our live streams and videos saying that we've been deleting comments that we didn't like. This is untrue. We do not delete comments. I just want to put it out there. I saw a comment yesterday, post yesterday's live stream saying it's either YouTube or it's side scrollers. It's not us. It's YouTube. So if YouTube doesn't like what you're saying, your comments are removed. It is not us. Just housekeeping, letting you know we do not delete comments.
Yeah, every video I put out, I always get that, right? Stop deleting my comment. I'm like, what? I'm literally checking the comments for the first time right now. Like, what are you talking about? There's some kind of filter on YouTube for whatever. There's some buzzword, wrong think something for when you post a comment. I've had it happen on my own stuff. I'll come back to a video and my comment's gone, and I'm pretty sure, the channel doesn't give a crap about me or what I said, but I'm pretty sure it's just a filter.
I'll tell you this. I know for a fact one word that will get you demonetized on YouTube, which I'm not going to say right now, but they now have the ability
Tunnel Jews.
No, Razor. Don't say that.
Blood-soiled mattresses.
No, but it's the "see you next Tuesday" word.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Don't say that. Remember a couple weeks ago I said that and I used it twice. Well, now I guess YouTube will say at this exact moment, this is why you got demonetized. And I clicked it. And I was like, oh, there it is right there. So
this is what you can say instead.
Shut up, bitch.
Yeah, you can say that. It's good.
Yeah.
Hey, Cuban922 says, watch the video of someone who got to play the new Dragon Age early. Describe the gameplay as God of War 2018 with the story stylings of Guardians of the Galaxy EA. Guardians of the Galaxy EA really hates classic BioWare fans. Thanks, Cuban. Appreciate that. By the way, you can now get that for free. So good for them. You can by buying a graphics card. All right, we do see every single Rumble Rant, Super Chat, and Direct Donation, and we will get to every single one throughout the day. But first, let's get to today in video game history.
I just want to remember that everyone liked yesterday's gaming history. Good job. So today, October 22nd, we have Grand Theft Auto 3 releasing back in 2001. We have The Sims 2 Castaway releasing back in 2007. And listen, every time I see Nancy Drew, I have to throw it in there just for the lulz. So Nancy Drew, The Silent Spy was released back in 2014, 10 years today. Yay.
Okay. Some noticeable games that were not included on your list today, Blabs.
She got GTA 3. Give her a break.
She did. That's a good one. That's a big one.
Like one of the top 10 best-selling games of all time, I think, right?
Yeah, was it certainly at its time.
Yeah.
Some noticeable games that you missed: Golden Axe 3 for the Genesis.
What?
Wait, is it Japan?
No, it just says for the Genesis. Now, I will say this. I don't know if this is accurate based off this list, because this says that Golden Axe 3 was released 17 years ago in 2007 for the Genesis. I don't necessarily buy that. I'm just going based off this list from GameFAQs. So if it's wrong, hey, yell at GameFAQs, not me.
Yeah, they also had one for like Android being released today, like actually Android the very first time ever. But then when you Google it, they were like, no, it came out in September. So I'm like, so when was it? I don't know anymore.
Well, I certainly don't remember a Golden Axe 3 for the Genesis, but I'm just going off this list here. Fatal Frame, Maiden of Black Water for the Wii U was also released in 2015. I wanted to mention that just because it's a Wii U game.
The Wii U had some fun stuff. It had like the Wii Resort one.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
It's a really good home console for emulation now. You can totally hack the shit out of it and make a good emulated version of that. But Forza Motorsport 3 was released in Japan 15 years ago in 2009. And The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes for the 3DS was released 9 years ago as well. So, and of course, today you can find Sonic Cross Shadows Generations, which is the edited version of the one from 10 to 12 years ago. Razor, you've been following the Sonic editing censorship that has happened in that?
No.
It's so stupid. They removed some like fat jokes in it, and they covered up a couple of the characters, like their cleavage, and it's so.
Hold on.
Yes, I know what I'm saying.
Sonic.
Yes.
Sonic, the series with a fat guy literally named Eggman.
Yes, you are correct, Razor. You are correct.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. Just wanted to settle that. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where we're at in video games now. We're now censoring Rouge the Bat and her cleavage. It's fucking ridiculous. Kyle over on Rumble says it's the same with Razor Fist. I keep getting shadow banned, and when he has Friday arcade streams, I'm never able to comment or super chat. Maybe YouTube doesn't like me obtaining knowledge. There you go, Kyle. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. A lack of knowledge is ideal to keep you under the thumb, as they say. All right, let's get into it. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It is time for Hard News. All right, I'll tell you what, man. I want to start off a little light here today, and we got this for the first time in 18 years. Razor, we are seeing something that is being produced in the United States, and I'm very excited to share this with you. The VHS is coming back, Razor, with Alien Romulus.
Ooh, some stuff has been doing this lately. Am I crazy? This is not the first movie to do this in the last little while.
I don't know. Blabs, can you see if there's been any movies? That'd be great.
Yeah, I feel like I heard someone else doing this, but that's a cool idea. Crap movie, but
the idea of the VHS,
I shouldn't say that. I didn't sit down and watch it at length. I really shouldn't say that, but I haven't heard great things.
I appreciate your honesty there, Razor. Yeah. But I think that this is man, there is something wonderful. There really is. And I know this is very like old man of me, but I love the idea of having a physical item that you take out and you put into something and then you get to play it, right? Whereas now when you're scrolling through Netflix or Disney Plus or Prime or whatever service that you use, Hulu, you have infinite options. And I love the idea of, looking through your collection that you own, whether it's Alien Romulus or whatever, and having to go through your collection to pick it out. I think there's a little bit of joy when it comes to that.
I still watch movies on VHS sometimes.
Do you?
Oh yeah. If I want to watch the Star Wars trilogy, man, I have the one last time video box set. You remember that in like 95, 6, something like that?
Yeah, with the OG ending and everything.
And the unedited ones before they came out with the special. I'm at least as likely to watch that version on my VCR as I am to watch, my Blu-ray copies.
Yub Nub is the best ending.
Indeed. Yub Nub, the original Jabba's Palace theme with the terrible puppet that I nevertheless love.
Craig's like, what?
Well, let me say this, bringing it back to not Lord of the Rings. When it comes to the VHS thing, I'm intrigued because VHS worked with CRT TVs. Number one, if you have does your VHS player, Razor, does it work with new TVs, or do you have to play it on a CRT, or do you have to get an adapter, or what?
No, totally works because my television still has the AV hookups and stuff. So,
I love this idea, but I don't know how practical it is, and I'm guessing this is strictly like one of those. It's a special edition. Maybe they only make 10,000 of them, type of things. But I love the idea of bringing back physical media, even if it is like inferior physical media. It sounds pretty awesome.
But that's kind of how it's going, right? Look what happened with vinyl, right? And people are buying vinyl by the millions now. Like it legit brought back the music industry a little bit.
Well, some people would say that vinyl is superior.
They'd be wrong. They'd be wrong. But it's not superior to CD. CD sounds better. CD's more portable. I mean, it's objectively an upgrade over vinyl, but vinyl's great in that it's it feels more organic. You get bigger art. You can pack more stuff in there sometimes. Like you can have a big old booklet and all that. You can't really get that in CDs.
Well, I did the Google searches, and I couldn't find anything like on specific like releases of VHSs in the last like couple months. But this Google Gemini thing, which is new to me, for like showing up on Google for me, they're saying it's been making a comeback because of like COVID and everything, and people have been going for like the retro stuff. So there is some sort of comeback with like VHS and all retros.
Jason says you can't even buy a new VCR, though. The last company to make a VCR stopped in 2016, and most companies stopped making parts before then. Yeah.
I had one.
I do not.
Dude, there's tutorials on YouTube on how to repair a VCR in 5 seconds. You know what I mean? Like this is not something that's going to go away. Plus, there's a secondary market. You jump on eBay, there are refurbished VCRs you can buy for not even that much. Right? That price, though, is probably going to go up if this trend continues.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's been happening too, I should mention, speaking of CDs, with cassettes.
Cassette tapes.
A lot of bands have been releasing cassette versions in the last like 2-3 years. And they're getting to be pretty popular. You jump on Bandcamp, a lot of bands have this stuff, especially like synthwave and electronic artists. There's even some rappers I've seen. So yeah, absolutely. It's kind of rearing its ugly head again.
Wow. I don't think it's that ugly, to be honest with you. I think that's pretty cool.
I like it. Cassettes always had this cool kind of muffled sound almost that I think lends itself to certain genres of music. Like rock sounds good on cassette. Rap, not so much maybe. But certain like more electronic music, you probably want like a CD or a vinyl or something like that. But like it had a cool, not warm, but like a richer sound.
Yeah, Lampshade says it's all more vinyl than CDs at the Jazz Festival. Thanks, Lampshade. Appreciate that. I went to eBay to see just to see if there's any VCR players that you can pick up really quick. Yeah, and like they're $50. Most of them that I can find 50 between $30 and $50 for a VHS player. So a little VCR. So interesting. I don't know. I appreciate things like that. I appreciate the kind of impractical nature of a VHS VHS from 2024.
And they're so clunky, VHS players. They're huge. They're like,
Now the true test: will they release this movie on Betamax? That's the or laser disc.
Oh my god. Blabs has filled us in on in the private chat with a new story here quick for us. This is, I got to be honest, Razor, have you been following the Asmongold thing?
A little bit. I have the general gist of it.
Well, okay, here's the TLERs. It was banned for 2 weeks on Twitch. He said he's going to do better, and he's like, I need to clean up my life. I'm going to start with my house. So he's been posting clips. He's been posting clips of it and pictures of his house that he's been cleaning up.
I can't think of a worse idea. Why are you showing photographs of your house?
Well,
they actually have video games of his house where he goes and kills you because his house is so gross.
Yeah,
we saw it yesterday.
Pretty disgusting.
Oh, so this is like a meme.
Yeah, his house is
his mental state has turned into a meme.
Well, he posted some pictures. Here's an update of the before. By the way, this is zoomed in a little bit, so let's just roll with this, but you'll get the idea. This is before.
On today's episode of Hoarders.
Correct. Yes. I think there's definitely some serious issues going on in this man's life.
I love how he's posting his labels of boxes. That's a great way to show.
It's just incredible because the guy streams dawn to dusk. It's like with that amount of discipline, you could have just cleaned that up at the time.
That is so gross.
And
this hurts. This physically hurts me.
Well, I love the idea that he can still play Rampage in the back there.
He made a little pathway.
Right. How do you traverse this? I guess slowly through there, stepping over things. But that was before, and here is after. Da-ding! He has cleared a path.
Still terrible.
Yeah, it's still
pretty bad. Yeah. Dude, go find Consuela down at Home Depot. Get her to clean it up. Get a maid service. They'll do this.
She clean.
I think
even if you're a hoarder, even if you're one of those people, and I have a little bit of this where I don't want to throw anything out, even if that's the case, They'll bag it up. They'll box it up. They'll put it in a garage somewhere. They'll get it out of your way. Like, you don't have to throw this stuff out.
Yeah, you can just organize it.
Well, good for him. His house and his life are still a mess. Congratulations. All right. Speaking of a life being a mess, good Lord. You commented about this over on X, but I think it's worth talking about. In the color us not shocked at all story of the day, the ex-Abercrombie and Fitch CEO was arrested on sex trafficking charges. The former CEO of the fashion giant,
oh my God,
and his British partner have been arrested and are facing sex trafficking charges.
His business partner, of course.
Yes.
He's a staunch heterosexual. Can't you tell from his stores?
Yes. Well, as you pointed out, in the it's like, I'll let you read that in your own words. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, not the guy who wallpapers his stores with gay porn. Anyone but no, but seriously, guys, like this guy has giant photos of shirtless dudes, turgid penises, twink buttholes, every major retail location. This is how they decorate their stores. It's like, no way, Jose. I can't believe this.
Is he the same one who was saying how they wouldn't make anything bigger than like a size 0 or something like that?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, the idea of what fit is has changed many times over the last 20,
I know,
years.
but like back in the day, they're like, "No, we're not making this any bigger." And I remember all the sizes were super duper like cut really thin. It's very impressive how far we've just gone in the opposite direction, like 20 years.
Yeah, and a lot of the models just look like anorexic, right? Like not
Yeah,
even,
they
not
look
even
awful,
muscular
super
dudes.
sick.
We're talking like full twink mode, right? So I don't know. Here's the thing I don't understand. You go to an Abercrombie and Fitch, it's like, what was the pitch for the store? It's like, so here, I got an idea. We got to sell clothing. None of our models will be wearing any. Like,
right.
That's true.
Brilliant. Franchise 5,000 locations. Let's do this.
Yes.
What's the business model? No wonder you haven't sold a single t-shirt since 1999.
Man, good old 1999. The malls. Remember malls? Remember going to malls?
Abercrombie.
Dude,
Yeah.
I miss going to malls and things. The last time I was in a mall in America was like in July, and it was empty. It was deserted. Half the stores didn't have anything. Everything was online. I'm like, what is the point of this? This is depressing.
There's a mall in the North Texas area. I mean, most malls in the North Texas area are pretty obsolete at this point. They're obsolete just because there's no traffic in them, so no one wants to rent any space in it. But I actually went back when I was running Game Attack so several years ago. We were like looking at office space, and I thought it'd be really fun to actually rent out space in a mall and like turn that into an office. I think that'd be really, really fun.
They're turning a lot of them into office space. Yeah.
Yeah. But that actually may be a fun thing to do, Blabs. Maybe for our physical location, when we do get around to having a physical side scrollers office, we do it in a mall, and it'll be super cheap. And that way we can rent out a lot of space for not a lot of money. And then we could do our live shows, and people can join us for our live shows whenever we do them.
Like, make malls great again.
That's right. Love it.
Well, I mean, with the hurricanes and everything like that, you heard about people like needing physical goods and whatnot, and there were no malls around for them to go to, so they had to go all over town. I've been saying this for years, man. If there's ever like an EMP attack or a crazy natural disaster, or the end of the world as we know it, or whatever, the number one thing people are going to regret getting rid of and replacing with Amazon is malls. Because before malls, you had to drive all over town to get whatever you needed. After malls, it was all in the same spot. It was very convenient back when physical goods mattered.
Right, for sure. The Grizzly says, I love that in the 2010s, we all slobbered over the new digital era. No more cluttered homes or video rentals. In less than 10 years, we're back to visiting to visit in records as if it never happened, right? I'm guessing this says must be vinyl as opposed to visits. But yes, Grizzly, you're right, for sure. Lord Brown Bear came in and says, it always baffles me how many fangirls Asmongold has. Apparently, he really resonates with MMO players a lot. And we saw that with Kirsha. We have Kirsha on the show, and she's like, he wanted to be my husband. Yeah,
Gross.
she can like
So
look
gross.
look past the disgusting nature of it.
It's why I don't understand the MGTOW thing. It's like, dude, Dustin Diamond, Screech always had a girlfriend. He had a sex tape, for crying out loud. Like, if that guy can get laid, there is always hope. Stop it.
Singular came in and says, hey man, I'm not cleaning your house because I'm Mexican. I mean, I do it, but I'm not because I'm Mexican. Thank you, Singular. Appreciate that. Duly noted when I'm looking for a housekeeper. Rowboat Jethro Grimate came in and says, on the subject of vinyl, albums recorded during the time when it was the top medium sound better than albums recorded digitally, and then put on vinyl. Music was recorded to sound best on radio and LPs. Correct. Thank you, Rowboat. Appreciate that. Bob came in and says, VHS is trash. Laserdisc forever. I think you're the one guy, Bob, who says that. You're the guy. Also, the first few VHS movies were launched on VHS as well. Okay. And some VHS players have HDMI. Pricey, though. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate that. Over on Rumble, Mo says, since we're doing poo talk, Mo says, since we're doing poo talk, in county jail, the toilets are next to each other. So I used to ask the young gangbangers next to me on the shitter to grab my hand to help me bear down. Fun memories. Just reaching out. Come on, man. Let's go.
Hands across America.
Oh my God. The Brew That Do says, still waiting for my CEO interview, Craig. My CEO interview. The Brew That Do, did you get a hold of me? I'm not like just interviewing any Joe Schmo off the street. Got to have that. By the way, Razor, I'm looking for a CEO for this company.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Oh, Abercrombie guy's available.
You shut your mouth. That's ridiculous.
Side scroller.
Bars.
Shirtless Twink edition.
It's not that he's 80 or anything anyway.
That's funny shit. Rimdog says the last Kmart closed last week. Oh, damn.
Yes, it did. The very last one in America closed down.
That's kind of like when you hear a really, really old celebrity died and you're like, weren't they already dead?
That's what I thought. You know, Kmart exists in Australia.
Yeah. Kind of like how Tower Records is still huge in Japan.
Yeah, wild stuff.
Here.
You know what I remember about Kmart? I remember going there and getting the equivalent of like the Slurpee. I think they had Slurpee machines inside Kmart.
Yeah.
Now the Kmart where I live is like a Fiesta grocery store. It's like a total Latino demographic. So yes, the demographics have changed for sure. You know what?
God, chat said Sears.
Oh man,
who remembers Sears? Holy shit! Anyway, youth.
Yeah,
I remember America's Most Wanted guy's kid got killed there. I remember that.
Killed at Sears?
He got abducted there. I don't know if he got killed there.
Good Lord. Yeah. Frosty Zipper came in with the massive 50 euro money, says Hail Crew.
That's British pounds.
Euro monies. British monies.
They're not the same, Craig.
Look at that. Frosty, look at that right there. It says, Hail Crew, great to catch another live. Any franchises you guys play / like where you feel the soundtracks just never miss? For me, Ace Combat will never be stopped. Even the bad games had great original soundtracks. Also, Mech Warrior Clans, oof, Godspeed and Glory to Merrick. There you go. Any franchises that you think the soundtracks always hit, Razor, when you play, even if the game sucks?
Mega Man.
Dude,
there have been bad Mega Man games, but there are no bad Mega Man soundtracks. They don't exist.
You read my mind. I was literally going to say Mega Man for sure. Thank you, Frosty Zipper. That is massive and greatly appreciated. Huge support today. That is great. Javi says you should interview Rich from Review Tech USA. He needs a job. That's the last thing I want to do is interview Rich from Review Tech to be a CEO of Side Scrollers. I want my company to flourish, friends, not the other way around. So, Gravy D says I thought Kmart was already closed. I had a sealed copy of Kmart edition of a Kmart edition of Metroid Prime. Oh wow, I didn't know that they made a Kmart edition of Metroid Prime.
I have like Kmart edition of Harry Potter ornaments from like 2004.
Oh wow,
they have the Kmart label on them and everything. I'm retro now, guys.
You are retro, Blabs. Happy Girth Day Mazda. Mazda came in with the $10 direct donation. Says just some normal innocent support for some normal innocent men. I only bring my phone to the bathroom because I don't want to miss a thing. I'm determined to watch your show live, even though I'm at work. Thank you. Happy Girth Day,
Takes
Mazda.
time off to go to the bathroom at work. So I have a really upset stomach. I gotta go sit down for an hour and a half in the bathroom.
That always does bother me when I'm scrolling through Twitter and just it suddenly dawns on you how much of this wit and wisdom was composed on the crapper. Just how much.
Yep.
It's pretty sobering. It definitely puts things in perspective.
80% of tweets are sent on the crapper for sure.
Trump, no question. Like half of his output, he's just on the dumper.
Hey, Nikki says the Toys R Us by my house is now an Asian grocery store. Let's go. Good for you, Nikki. Great. You enjoy some nice noodles and stuff. Yeah. All right, let's keep moving on. Razor, have you followed the little saga or the failed launch of the new Bandai Namco game that was consulted on by Sweet Baby Inc. called Unknown 9 Awakening? Have you heard about this game?
I hadn't heard a thing about it until this controversy kicked off. I didn't even know it was a thing. Namco Bandai are one of these companies. Like, I've got such an issue with them. I don't know. There are so many companies that won't listen to their fans at all. Bandai Namco are the most insular, up their own asses, elitist pricks perhaps in the entire video game industry, and no one calls them out on it. They get feedback on their games. It's like, this thing was crap, you should stop doing that. Okay, we'll do it 5 more times in rapid succession. Fuck you. It's like they're lifting the finger at you as they do it. They've done it with Tekken, they've done it with Soul Calibur. Screw Bandai Namco. But anyway, sorry, I've talked about it in videos before. It always bugs me. Just their culture is just cancerous.
Well, you may think that they are definitely screwing themselves, and they're screwing themselves with the release of their new game, because nobody knew about this game when it came out, to the point to where it's pre-orders. They had, when I say literally dozens of pre-orders, they had literally dozens of pre-orders. This is I want to say it's a AAA game, probably a AA game right now. Yeah. However you think of Bandai Namco along the way, with them as a company, but it's been interesting to watch. And this clip was being passed around of the gameplay itself. This is a very memeable game, so let's go see what the gameplay actually looks like. Have you seen any of the gameplay, Razor?
No, I didn't even know what kind of game it was. It looked very, very boilerplate and generic.
Okay, well, you're 100% right, but hey, be ready for this. Check this out. This is your first 1-minute experience of gameplay.
Yes, you are popping my cherry. Let's do this.
All right, here we go.
Be gentle. It's my first time. That is some AI there. What the hell? This is some Star Wars Outlaws right here.
Right.
That's what this is.
You can see they're literally just staring at her. She's like, hey. So it gets even better here. She starts attacking like they're not even there.
When did game developers stop knowing how to program enemy AI? It's a thing that's in a lot of modern games, dude.
And this is about as bad as it gets. They're just sitting there. And he's dead. But here, hold on. This guy's got a gun.
And dude, even if the combat was working as intended, it looks so lame.
Right. Not a shot, nothing. He's just sitting there taking hits to the nads.
So it looks like there's a stealth component to this, which is yet another modern gaming trope, is don't do stealth if you don't know how to do it. And there are so many modern gaming studios that do that.
Well, I'll tell you what, this game is not performed very well. It has a all-time peak players over on Steam. Well, let's play the Price is Right game. Let's play the Price is Right game, Razor. What is the all-time peak number of players for Unknown 9 Awakening, Razor, on Steam?
Let's see. Let's calculate how many developers worked on it, how many members there are in their immediate family. 250.
Ooh, man. Razor, you are pretty good at this game. Currently sitting at the all-time peak, 285 players.
Woo!
currently right now at 103 players. So I would not expect this to go up at any point. This may be one of the bigger flops of the year. As far as, like we laugh at Dustborn, right? Dustborn is still a small company. It's like 13, 16 people developing the game. It's stupid, and it has like 6 people playing it, right? We get it. We all understand that. This is a Bandai Namco game.
Yeah.
285 people failing. 2024 has had more failures in video games than I think possibly any year.
Yeah. Let's put this in perspective. How many people are watching us right now?
Right.
Right.
Right. Exactly. And I think that's the craziest thing about it. It's funny you mentioned that we're bringing this up, and as I said that, the most failures ever in a year, it actually dawned on me that we yesterday over at the Real Game Awards, that's actually the newest category that we had put up was
biggest flop,
biggest industry failure.
Ooh, yes.
So that is a category this year. This morning we had best company. We had the biggest industry failure. There's I think we have 8 or 9 different categories that you can go nominate for right now. So
remember to have a best MMO category, or Angry Joe will get mad at you and embarrass himself on camera.
No, I'm not super concerned about what Angry Joe has to say. But with that said, if you guys want to head over and become voting members over at therealgameawards.com, remember, use promo code Alyssa and get $5 off your annual membership over at therealgameawards.com. So head over there and become a voting member. We'd really appreciate that. It's great. By the way, we're going to be voting in December with the award show in January. So just heads up on all that. But maybe you can add Unknown 9 Awakening. I'm hard pressed to think that Concord won't be the biggest industry failure this year, but there's a lot that could give it its run for its money.
Dustborn, gosh, this Outlaws.
Yeah, it's pretty much Ubisoft. Ubisoft as a company.
Basically, right. Ubisoft in its entirety.
Right. Well, we're going to get to Ubisoft in just a few minutes. But first, Big Mike came in and says, I got Space Marines 2 for free and Unknown 9 for free with my recent AMD CPU purchase. It feels like I got a pan-seared New York strip for the entree and a flat, lukewarm Bud Light for my drink. Let's go, Big Mike. Well, you enjoy those games as best you can. Maybe you can sell them. Just sell them for like $5. Sell the Steam code for like $5. You can get actually a cold Bud Light for that. So thanks, Big Mike. Appreciate that. Nick W says Concord was a massive failure. This year has had a lot of failures. Yes, it has, Nick. 100%.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a year with this many giant flops. Maybe 2008, 2010. Maybe those were 2 really bad years. I don't know. And the fact that we're even at that point to where we're having that conversation says a lot, Zenix says game developers are no longer geeks and nerds. You actually need brains and passion to build highly complex systems and code. There's been a lot of conversation about that. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that because I'm going to be there's a video that I saw that I'm going to do a standalone video to here in the next day or so, which talks pretty much extensively about that. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Lampshade says, I've seen Dynasty Warriors enemies smarter than that. At least they actually attack back on occasion. They hit like a tiny twig, but still. Thanks, Lampshade. Appreciate that. And Shragnasher says the reason AI sucks is because no one develops games anymore. They just mod Unreal Engine. Appreciate that. Probably a lot of truth in that. I don't think Bethesda even do that. They just make a half-assed, half-finished game, and they're like, all right, audience, finish this.
Well, Unknown 9, man. Unknown 9. Keep an eye out for it, friends.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to talk about that real fast. So,
yes.
On Instagram, there was a collaboration, Unknown 9, Bandai, and Reflector. And all of their comments are negative, talking about Sweet Baby Inc. and how badly this game has failed. And it's like the most random people. So that is very interesting to see. Look at that Sweet Baby shit, modern audience, slop. And one person says they love the game. Good for them. Please stop with these real life video games. Fun game, but then people are roasting it, woke. So most of them are negative, and it's very interesting to see that. Just wanted to share that one out.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy to see.
I like how they have her dressed in like a trash bag too.
All right, let's go to this next story here. We saw this from IGN. We'll go to the article itself, and you actually commented on this one, Razor. But this is interesting. Alcon Entertainment is suing Elon Musk, Tesla, and Warner Brothers for what it's claiming is massive economic theft. After Musk used what looks like an AI-generated image reminiscent of the Blade Runner 2049 poster to promote Tesla's now self-driving car, the Robotaxi. So this is the AI image that was used, and I do think it's important to see that. And here is the image that they're saying it copied, right? Which obviously there's a lot of similarities between the two, right?
But there's no Robotaxi in it. Like, what the hell? Is this even an advertisement?
This is asinine to me. And like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we being upset about this? Did you see the other posters that were at that event? They had like one that was an homage to Back to the Future.
Right.
They're just homages.
That's it. But, okay, how are you profiting from it? Is he selling the posters? No. They just happen to be at the event. Let's be real, Alcon. You're pissed that the Tesla Robot Village was closer to Blade Runner than your shitty sequel was, or that garbage Netflix show, or all the crap comics that Titan is making with the Blade Runner logo slapped on them and some cringy Asian girl boss in the lead. Ugh.
It's amazing to see what people are getting so upset about these days. And the idea that, as you pointed out, over on X, just the idea that, favorite franchise like a skin suit, despite having nothing to do with creating it, right?
Yep.
And the idea that they're going to be upset because there's an homage, like at what point we're talking about a parody here, homages, and they want to sue over, once again, what they said, massive economic theft.
Yeah. They're giving away the game. I don't know if you guys have looked up. I've talked about this in some of my Blade Runner videos, but when Alcon bought the series, the CEO guy was like, we wanted our own cyberpunk version of Star Wars. Like, they basically intended for this series to be a money printer. Like, the original Blade Runner is basically a sci-fi art film. It was not going to be Star Wars, and it never will be, no matter how much you try to make it that. This is kind of them giving the game away. They've lost a lot of money on Blade Runner. Okay, Blade Runner 2049 didn't make money. Black Lotus didn't make money. Their comics aren't making money. They're developing a game, which probably costs a lot of money, and who knows if that's going to sell. Let's see who's consulting on it, right? They're pissed that their money factory isn't a money factory. So now they're going to sue Elon Musk, who is a money factory.
How much of this has to do with it just being Elon Musk? And who he is.
Could also be that, yeah.
The idea that it's Elon Musk and he's actually trying to, help sway and promote Trump. I mean, I think there's probably a big part of that. Elon Musk is seen as the negative guy. That he's now a negative. Like he's had to hop into the political ring, and ultimately these companies want to be pissed and try to take things from him. Now it's nuts. So. All right, let's go and move on. Now, this part of our run sheet today, this just says DEI Drama. And I have not seen this, and I thought we'd react to this in real time. Now, I think the only thing you can do is really take this for what it is, but I think there's a larger conversation associated with this. This is from Pirate Nation, who we use, we reference this person pretty frequently over on X, but it says new DEI flop slop just dropped. And this is called Directive 8020, and it's the official trailer here. Got it pulled up, and let's go and watch this for ourselves and see exactly what they're talking about here. Because before we go into this, Blabs, your thought on this is just that the idea that if we call everything DEI, then nothing truly is DEI. Well,
I just don't see how there was anything wrong in this trailer or anything wrong with the main character looking the way she did.
Okay, let's go take a look and see for ourselves.
I've always wanted to fly.
Supermassive Games is The Quarry and Until Dawn, right?
Blabs, let's see.
This is published by Supermassive Games. It's the 5th overall in the Dark Pictures anthology.
Okay.
Okay, yes, it's those guys. Gotcha.
Okay, let's see what we got.
of it, the freedom of it, to just take your life in your hands and soar. I think that's in us all, isn't it? At least that's what my dad taught me.
Gibbs.
Let me just say this. If it was a white guy chasing her down, then I would have been like, all right. But since it's a copy of yourself, I'm just being honest, right? Like,
Right.
you know, then
He
you're
was,
like,
he was
okay.
wearing a sheet, carrying a burning cross. Yeah.
Right.
Do you have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis?
Right.
So what people are complaining about is that they're saying that the character is very masculine. Now, however, this is actually Lashana Lynch. She's the chick who was in the latest James Bond movie. She looks exactly the
Unfortunately,
same.
yeah.
She looks exactly the same, chat. I don't.
And she
see
was
what the
put in that
problem is.
movie for DEI reasons.
Yeah, I mean, like call it out as you see it, but like they're just using her in here. And did you see anything actually woke or anything bad in the trailer?
Not really, but you have to keep in mind, what is DEI? DEI is a checklist. You have to have a black woman in the game. They just decided to make her the protagonist.
I mean, but like, what's the big deal though? Like, just because she like, just
Oh
straight
no,
up.
I agree. It's not like offensive or anything, but I mean, keep in mind we haven't watched it yet. But
Right.
Well, actually, I was going to say played it, but these games you watch, you don't play.
Right.
watch
I think, my stance is real simple. I have no problem with diversity in video games. It's forced diversity in video games.
Yeah.
Right. And if this game has a great story, fucking A, awesome. But if every time there's some sort of dialogue that in this game about space and crazy copies of yourself or whatever's happening in that, right, that she opens with as a black woman, right, then that's what's like
that's
right.
Like people, the problem I have here is people just jumping to like conclusions again, and all we have is the footage that we've just seen to base it off of. So
yeah.
The
No, I
problem
think
is
you
that-
should wait to confirm that it's complete crap.
Exactly.
I agree with
The problem
that.
is if people keep doing this, we're not going to have anything to stand on, and we're going to be looking like fools and dumbasses because we have no like plot here.
Right. If you every time you see, you just yell it, you lose your credit, you lose credibility.
Exactly.
Right. And we're not in a situation where we
Fucking pronouns.
right.
So fucking boring. Sorry.
Right. But I think
Shout out as
now with that said, I'll say this. I understand why people would be quick to say, the forced injection. I understand that, right? Because it's been nonstop over the last
in your face. But if you take it away and just put it by itself, which is what you're technically speaking supposed to do, it's like based on this own video game by itself without anything else, does it look woke?
Right. And hey, who knows? Like we talk about having a bar. We talked about this yesterday. If you have a bar, you have if it crosses this, we talked about this Twitch, right? With Twitch yesterday, with Asmon Gold and this girl we're going to be talking about in a little bit, right? Once you cross that bar, okay, you say what you need to say. But like, I haven't seen anything from this because we don't know anything about the story, right? That would say this is forced, right? Let's see what happens in the game first, right? Whether I've said this a million times, I don't care if your character is black, white, straight, gay, straight, trans, whatever. As long as it's interesting, then it's fine, right? It just doesn't need to be forced onto people, right? You don't. If she walks up and she's like, the guy's like, I'm gonna, or the copy of her is like, I'm gonna kill you, or you're gonna die, you. She, her, or whatever, it uses some sort of pronouns or whatever, then it's like, okay, fuck, and it's over the top. That's all I'm saying, right? So anyways, yeah.
I just think people are really too quick to jump and like knee-jerk reaction, especially on social media, because you can just first thing that comes to mind is like, take a
you
step
know,
back,
I would
Chris.
caution against that though, because I think for a long time people were not paying close attention.
That's
close
true.
enough attention, and sometimes they still don't. I think there were a lot of warning signs on Cyberpunk 2077 that a lot of people looked the other way on because they liked Witcher 3, for example, right? Like they were entirely too charitable. And then people like me get to say, I told you so. That's the thing. Like, we do have to balance it. There has to be a level of almost hypervigilance to this stuff. And keep in mind, you have to consider the source. Supermassive Games have made shockingly woke video games before. Like, this would not be outside their line or purview.
And this is what I'm saying right now. Look at that. Knee-jerk reaction. I'm not defending DEI. Where have I ever said that? You idiot.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, look, and this is goddamn it, I want a name came into the tent, says, what's the big deal, Blabs? It's called pattern recognition. And like I said,
And I understand that, but the thing is we gotta like just wait and see too, and then blast it if it's true.
But once again, I don't blame anybody for immediately jumping to conclusions. I don't. I really don't, based off of everything that we've seen. 2024 has been like fucking injecting it directly into video games veins, right? So, but there is this pattern recognition that everybody sees. So I don't criticize anybody for jumping to a conclusion because I understand where they're coming from. Yeah. Me personally, I will not be jumping to that conclusion. I like to take a wait and see approach before just going, this is bad because, right?
It's basic human nature. If you watched 5 different movies in a row and they all started the same and ended the same, if you saw the same beginning, you'd be like, oh, I know how this is going to end. This is basic pattern recognition. This is just the way the human brain works. I just did a Trump there for a moment. Playing
right.
It's the way it works. I'm playing an invisible accordion. Anyway.
Goddamn it, I want to name continued says, after a decade of forced diversity, we are at a point where we see a black female character lead on the box with short hair and side of the head shaved, and well, it's over. They've trained us like dogs. Thanks.
That's sad, isn't it?
The Major Spike came in and says, we'll get to that in just a second. His comment here in just a minute. So Mercenary says, waiting for Razor to spin in chair and telling Blabs. But yeah. And Bass Player says,
Razor and I like disagree with what we were just saying.
No, I don't think we do either.
Yeah. Bass Player says, all I see is a generic sci-fi quote unquote action game. Right.
Of course, afterwards, you're dead to me, Blabs.
Oh, right. Okay. He's gonna put like a dartboard, and I'm gonna be on it.
Yeah. 2 more pins in the voodoo doll.
And Captain Canada came in and says, has enough time passed that we can safely assume a new game isn't DEI slop? Yeah. What games have I missed? I mean, like I said, I certainly don't. I see why people would be quick to make that judgment for sure. Me personally, I will wait and see, see kind of what happens. So Canal says, Western companies have not earned the benefit of the doubt back. Allowing games with a bit of ideology is how we reach Concord levels.
It's true.
Yeah, I said,
they poisoned the well with, the strategy is called incrementalism, right? Yeah. It's little by little. Oh, why you're blowing this out of proportion. That phrase right there is the wedge in the door of all propaganda for the last 50, 60 years. It's, oh, you're blowing this out of proportion. It's just a little this. It's just a little that. At some point, someone needed to put the foot down and put it down really hard. The idea of tolerance. Like sometimes there's too much tolerance when it comes to some of these things for sure. So Delta says, Blabs, all I'll say is games take time. We can make fun of it after it comes out, or we can get a Sonic situation in the industry. Forspoken could have been better if the main character wasn't so pessimistic and asshole-ish. Thank you, Delta. Appreciate that. Lord Slosh says, I liked Until Dawn and Quarry. SM games tell fun stories despite the current day writing. Also crazy how accurate they got Lynch in the game, yet fumbled all the countless other women. Thank you, Lord Slosh. Appreciate that. And Flickerbox says, DEI has been around since the 2000s. I'll wait and see.
Flickerbox is saying, do not wait till you die.
90s actually. In the 90s, I remember vividly, I was reading Focus on the Family magazine. My mom had a subscription, and they had leaked an internal memo from ABC Network that was like, you have to have X number of black people, X number of Latinos,
Right.
X number of gays, X number of lesbian, right? And that was all the way back in like, I want to say 94, 95. So this has been going on a long time.
Mm-hmm. Anti-Woke Academy for Arts and Scientists says Supermassive has had many recent games with white leads, and that's been a common hairstyle for decades. People need to chill. If not, then we will be seeing like clowns, right? Exactly. Well, I totally, like I said, I understand all perspectives on it. People say you're a fence sitter. I'm just saying, give me a little bit more time. Show me a little more.
Yeah, we haven't actually really seen anything.
Right.
It will.
Go off on it.
Exactly. I mean, look, I apply the same basic logic I do to deciding if a game is worth buying. Let me see the gameplay. That wasn't gameplay, right? That was a little teaser and it was pre-rendered. No, at least show me gameplay.
Yeah. Das Pooch says Lucas and Disney may not allow people to buy the unmolested OT anymore, but the despecialized edition in HD can be found online. I have it in my media server. It's the only way to watch it. OT. What is OT anymore? Lucas and original trilogy. Yes, there you go. Yeah, thank you, Das Pooch.
Star Wars nerd. Craig.
Sorry, I had to go back and see. I saw Lucas and Disney.
He's like, "What's Yub Nub?" Do you even know what Yub Nub means, Craig?
You don't even have a son.
Yasuke, back in the day, he used the Dragon Balls to stop World War II. There you go. Thanks. Appreciate that. All right, let's keep moving on. I'll say this, man. But let me kind of put a pin in that segment. I think that
pin in Blabs voodoo doll. Yes.
So many pins.
I think it's important to call out the bullshit when you see it and laugh at shit when you see it, right? But I understand the idea of having zero tolerance for something. But I also think that you're doing yourself a disservice if you're looking through and you're constantly negative about things. Now, look, Supermassive, if they have a track record, I get it, right? If there's pattern recognition, I get it.
Yeah.
But I need more than a 60-second pre-rendered trailer to show me that something. Unless she's running down the hallway with a pride flag, I need more than that. So
yeah, right. Unless she's doing like in WandaVision, where all the other women are like affirming her identity and everything. You can do this. You were made for this, and like that's what the other woman's telling herself. Then like, I don't know. I don't see anything yet, at least. Like I said, if it's crazy bad and everything, obviously call it out. But we don't really see anything yet.
Yeah. It just goes back to you ruin your credibility when you jump to conclusions sometimes, right? So let's just wait and see. Or I will wait and see. It doesn't, you guys can do whatever you want. Twitch, we'll move on here. And Twitch has waited and see. And Razor, did you see the Twitch streamer Frogan, who was talking about how she hoped all the soldiers got PTSD, all the American soldiers got PTSD? Are you familiar with this story at all?
Who and what?
Okay. So Frogan is a streamer, and let me see if I can pull up her clip really fast, because we saw what happened with Asmon this past little bit, and this is the clip of that she said, and there was immediate response to this. Let's just go and take a look at what she initially said. We talked about this yesterday, but we'll continue here.
But like any other motherfucker, you're joining them. You're like, oh my god, I want my fucking Camaro, no student loans. Fuck you. I hope you get PTSD. And I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into a fucking...
Oh, this is her actually responding to this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why is there two of her now? She's a Sith Lord.
This is not the original, but the long and short of it, Razor, is she says like, hey, look, U.S. soldiers, I hope you get PTSD. Fuck you. It is what it is, right? So there's immediate call for her to be banned. Well, guess what? And it took a while. It took a few days, but yesterday she was banned. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that's, all we were saying is like, look, we got this bar. Asmongold was banned for this. She should probably be banned. It's on the same level of quote unquote hate speech, right? Or
I'd
speech.
like to point out, she's got to wear a tablecloth in the name of modesty, but she can drop the F-bomb every other word. What is very, very selective imposition of Muslim modesty, I notice.
Well, living the Western life as well, which is amazing. But here's the next layer of this.
Or is this like a gimmick or something? Like she's playing a character?
I don't know. I don't know that. But either way, she has been banned. And what's interesting about this was Twitch made the decision with Asmongold by themselves. They did not make this decision by themselves, as they were actually, Twitch was confronted by the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. In a tweet that says ADL spoke with the Twitch staff today after becoming aware of several concerning incidents on the social media platform and involving Twitch streamers in the past week. And that is what ultimately, I can only assume that is what led to her being banned, which it took the Anti-Defamation League coming to Twitch to say something before.
Yeah, defaming people is the ADL's job.
Right.
But so, don't encroach on our purview, lady.
Well, she has since gone in and deleted all of her YouTube content and her Twitch content as well, and her Discord and website aren't working anymore. So she knows that she's in hot water for what she said. It's just one of those things where you go like, man, like these people are. And by the way, she's playing the victim as well. This is a retweet from her post over.
Yeah.
This is from Ariana Jasmine, which she has retweeted. It says Twitch has banned some of those prominent Middle East voices for simply using their platform to speak about Palestine. Twitch,
Isn't she from Michigan?
I don't know, Blabs. I don't know.
Twitch, you're a
racist platform.
From Michigan. Huh?
You're a racist platform and you don't even hide it, right? Now, you could argue this exact same statement that is what Asmongold said as well. Twitch has just banned one of its most prominent, American voices for simply using their platform to speak about the exact same thing, right? But that's where it's at right now. So
wow, you should see what would happen if you were streaming in Iran.
Right. It's amazing how that works out.
Oh, sorry, your hijab is 1 centimeter above your head, above your hairline. It's not where it needs to be. Go head on over to the secret police headquarters. Hope you don't get raped. Seriously, guys? They're taking our standards and using them against us. Blow me. Your standards in your countries are you getting thrown off a rooftop. Shut up.
Well, she was banned for 30 days for hateful content, whereas Asmongold was banned for 14 days. So here we are. That's
you can have sex on Twitch and only get banned or suspended, I should say, for 14
right?
days also.
Who's the chick who showed her entire birth canal and got 2 days?
No, there was also a chick who got railed on Twitch, from the back and everything. We could see it on the stream, and she got a little slap on the wrist. 14 days. It makes all the sense. All the sense.
Well, I think we can all agree, regardless of what you think of how long she was banned, how long Asmongold was banned, is that Twitch as a whole is just a really fucked up, stupid company. Yeah. And they have if they didn't have any standards, they'd have no standards at all. So it's a mess. Speaking of a mess of a company, but still doing excellent when it comes to revenue, is Netflix. But one part of their company apparently is not doing very well, and that is the gaming side of Netflix. Razor, did you know that there was a gaming side of Netflix?
I know there have been games of Netflix stuff made. Is that theirs? Right, there was a Dark Crystal game. Remember when the show came out, which was good, by the way. If you like Final Fantasy Tactics, it was really good.
Well, they've gone in and if you go on Netflix on a smart TV, you can actually play some games on the service. They tried to pivot into that space from the streaming side, but Netflix has shut down its AAA teen game studio amid shakeup in the gaming. The SoCal studio boasted senior veterans from Halo, God of War, and Overwatch, but apparently it's not working anymore. So, yeah, I mean, in late 2022, Netflix wooed Overwatch studio executive Chaco Sony from Blizzard to build its SoCal studio. In spring 2023, Netflix studio, SoCal studio added Joseph Staten, a longtime creative exec at Microsoft's Halo franchise at Bungie and 343 Studios. Anyways, they're going to work on a lot of different things for Netflix, and now they've shut it down. So the three big hires that they hired are no longer with the company, and it kind of is what it is. So Netflix has not seen much success with video. I think the bigger question is, have you ever attempted to play a game on Netflix? And chat, same question for you. Have you ever played any games on Netflix, and were they fun at all?
I killed my Netflix account when the Obamas bought it, and I haven't gone back.
The Obamas bought it? What are you talking about?
They own a sizable chunk of Netflix.
Really?
Yeah, you aren't aware the Obama Netflix meme? They have a production interest in Netflix. Yeah.
God dang, what is going on? Yes, in 2018. Wow. Okay, the Obamas are officially part of the Netflix family. What the hell? How much did they purchase?
A sizable chunk. They still produce stuff. For it.
I have a question. This maybe, I know this question will feign ignorance, but please just kind of humor me. How does a president have enough money to buy anything in Netflix?
Yeah. Public kind of takes a little bite out of the phrase public servant, doesn't it? I don't know. I don't know a whole lot of servants who leave their servant job millionaires. I don't know.
Weird. Okay. Well,
it's weird. It's weird.
It's weird. Well, these people have been let go, and this adds to the over 13,000 people who have been shit canned in the video game space in the last year. The over 30,000 that have been shit canned, over 35,000 who have been shit canned in the last 3 years since.
Hey, bring up Arcane real quick. I'd like my nipples to get hard, please.
Let's see. How many has Arcane let go of this year? That's the question. Let me do a quick glance here. Let's see. Arcane.
And that list, by the way, doesn't include the last 6 or 7 days.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, Arcane had around 60, they said.
So it's higher than 13,000, chap.
Yeah, it's probably closer to 14,000 by the time it's all said and done. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to this next thing, which is our lead story today, which we've been flying through today. Appreciate y'all's support. We'll get to every single direct donation, every single Rumble rant as we make our way across here, including this one from Kratos. So, let me say this. Someone made a great point earlier. Made a great point. I usually wait and see too, but the fan backlash to the Sonic movie trailer was intense and early enough to affect change, and the creators actually listened. That is true.
That is something to consider. That is definitely something to consider. And that's why companies like Bandai, Namco, or Bethesda are so frustrating, because they can get that early criticism and they change nothing. That always bugs me. Whenever people are willing, I remember, great example of this, System Shock. When the System Shock remake was being worked on, and they showed early footage of that, and it was like, dude, this doesn't look good. This is wrong. It looks like BioShock. And they got a lot of negative feedback. They canceled it, started over from the beginning, remade the entire game, and System Shock, the remake, turned out being the best game of last year for me anyway. It was a really, really good game, reviewed really well, sold really well. And that's because they listen to the fans.
It's amazing. It's amazing how that works out. If you just listen to your audience, listen to the customer, things are good. Kratos says a balance of both, and the creators being open to constructive criticism is healthy. My pattern recognition was going off for the D&D movie and House of the Dragon, but those ended up being great. Right. Thanks, Kratos. Yeah, exactly. Maybe they buck the pattern. They buck the trend. Who knows? There we go. And Uriah came in and says, get that Trumportation to Frogan.
You have to go back.
Bulk Squatro says,
we need the meme of Donald waving goodbye from the McDonald's menu, the McDonald's window, rather.
It's funny as shit.
Yeah.
Bulk squat thrust says no amount of hijab can hide that double chin. Right, man. You know, in the original video, Razor, it's funny as she's saying all this, she is just like, just like shoving shit in her face. It's amazing.
She actually is, yeah.
Dean says, when you say Netflix games, do you mean like The Undertaker choose your adventure style game? Well, if it was on Netflix, then yes, I believe that's correct. Goji says, I stopped my Netflix usage back in 2006 when they still sent you discs in the mail. Never had the streaming version. I buy physical. Good for you, Goji. 90 Dragoon says, with the $15 direct donation, says you can only hand the hobo $5 so many times before they start saying sorry. Before you start saying sorry, man. I feel the same way about strong female protagonists these days. Is Supermassive for sure just going to spend a lot on anti-racist drugs? I hope not. But anyways, sorry, man. Thanks, 90 Dragoons. Appreciate that. And thank you very much. We'll make sure that your doubloons go far with us for sure. All right, let's keep on moving on. And by the way, Balmung, I do see your palate cleanser. It's about 3 minutes long. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to watch the whole thing, but there's a cameo of me in it, which is great. Thank you so much for your $10 direct donation. Really appreciate that. All right, let's go ahead and finish up here. And as we do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button, guys. We'd greatly appreciate that. We're closing in on our goal of 1,337 thumbs up. Currently sitting at a sweet 1,305. So we're close. Just if you guys hit that thumbs up button, we'd greatly appreciate it. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Look, we've talked about Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft, the number of losses that Ubisoft has had throughout the years, whether it's Skull and Bones, whether it's X Defiant, the rumors around that, the idea that it could potentially shut down. And we saw Assassin's Creed Shadows being punted from release that was supposed to be in November to now February, Black History Month, February 15th. Well, there's been a lot. I
wonder why.
Right. There's been a lot of things going on with this game. But this morning, they announced that Assassin's Creed Shadows Collector's Edition, they have actually dropped the price amid the canceled season pass. And now they have removed early access altogether. They are no longer doing early access to this game. So Ubisoft cut the price of the Japan set Assassin's Creed Shadows Collector's Edition by $50 in lieu of the canceled season pass and scrapped early access plans and the game's delay. So it was $279. Now it's only $229. And no longer
an indication they're just going to cut content out.
Well,
this would seem to support the rumors.
Yes, this was the original collector's edition here, which included the season pass and the early access, but that is no longer there. They said Ubisoft has made it clear that this would no longer be an offer for Assassin's Creed Shadows, announcing a single February 14th release date. I thought it was 15th. And once again, this is a delay, which has been a consistent thing. Now, my thing about not having access to it early is, Razor, do you think that they're potentially doing this with the intention of not allowing people to play it early to avoid bad press?
Absolutely. And there are game companies who have done kind of variations of this before. Totally. We've seen this again and again with like really limited early access that's only a few reviewers. Movie studios do this. Oh, we were talking about Blade Runner 2049 earlier. Blade Runner 2049 leaked a version of the movie to a bunch of hipster reviewers who really would enjoy that kind of movie months ahead of time. I've never seen anything leaked sooner, right? The reviews were in like June and the movie didn't come out till October. It was retarded.
Wow.
But it was all so they could cultivate the narrative because all those people wrote the same thing. Better than the first one. Better than the first one. And people claiming it's better than the first one were basically propagandized by that. It essentially got that kind of narrative going. I wonder if this isn't kind of that damage control idea a little bit.
Well, just the idea of keep in mind, we've seen very little gameplay of this so far. We've seen some very, very tight snippets of it, of Assassin's Creed Shadows. But the idea of now just buy it and nobody's going to play it early. No, like those 3 days that you could have had it early are now void. And my only thought is just the idea that they simply don't want the bad press of 3 days early, of people going like, wow, this game actually is not a good Assassin's Creed game, which ultimately would lead to canceled pre-orders. Like the idea that you can't access it for 3 days because it would be so damaging to the game, so damaging to the brand is like fascinating to me. It's crazy. Blabs, what are your thoughts on this? The idea that they have shuttered, they've removed the early access period for Ubisoft. And I am putting on my tinfoil cap here because we don't know these things. But the idea of them not allowing you to have early access and just releasing it all the same day. Like, by the way, like games used to be released, I might add, right? But I think unlike games that were previously released like that, they didn't have the snowball of nonsense that's been, coming down a hill at 1,000,000 miles an hour at this game.
Yeah.
Blabs, what are your thoughts on this?
There's a couple of thoughts. So one, I feel like sometimes early access would help with the bugs. But the other problem with that is that we shouldn't be releasing games with all these bugs anyway. They should be final product. But that's a whole other story. It also kind of sounds like if they're just removing all the early access, it sounds like they don't have any faith in this game anymore. And they're just trying to shove it out there and be like, all right, here you go, take it. Like, that's it.
It prevents their critics from preloading an anti-Assassin's Creed Shadows narrative, which is already thriving
That's a good point.
against the game. That's what it is. This is a PR thing. It could also be that they need more time to do something. And so they don't want to drop early access because they have more things to finesse about the game. I know, guys, it's a possibility. Ubisoft releasing an unfinished game. Will wonders never cease? But yes, I am considering this possibility.
Now, there's another report. This is coming from Insider Gaming that says that the report indicates that these changes that were made, quote, may be inspired by the issues Ubisoft has had thus far maintaining historical accuracies and cultural representation. I don't know why that would have anything to do with like why they release the, drop the early access and such.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This whole thing is really like, I don't think we've ever seen anything like this Ubisoft Assassin's Creed Shadows situation. It is an absolute mess.
It's overdue. It's not just about Assassin's Creed Shadows. This is the culmination of several Assassin's Creed games in a row getting progressively more like this. This is just the most blatant expression of it. And that's what it is. It's finally the point. It's almost the Gamergate point where people are just like, nah, that's a bridge too far. I feel like that's kind of what's happening. Plus, you have the factor of it's set in Japan, and now you got the weebs mad at you. All right?
Oh my God. You do not piss them off.
There are few corners of the internet more autistic than the weeaboosphere, so be careful.
And then we have some other Ubisoft news that came out, or Ubisoft, however, I don't even know how to say it. I've been saying Ubisoft my entire life, so I'll just continue with that, just like I say Ryu instead of Ryu. Yeah. This from Wario64, also a game that came out of Ubisoft, a Ubisoft original. Did you play Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown? That was the 2D Prince of Persia that was released earlier this year. Did you hear about this? No?
No, I didn't. I do like the old ones.
Well, this is a 2D kind of like, I wouldn't say retro Metroidvania style, but it was a 2D.
The original Prince of Persia was that way.
Mm-hmm. Well, this was released, and it actually got really good reviews. But reviews didn't save it, as the entire team who made the game has been disbanded by Ubisoft, as it did not reach sales expectations. And it says the sequel
it wouldn't have anything to do with the Prince of Persia having Zoomer broccoli hair, would it?
That was definitely discussed on the internet for sure. We talk about Steam charts all the time. Prince of Persia, this game itself, the Lost Crown, it peaked at 1,446 players. So despite it being a good game, it just did not resonate with people along the way. And it's really crazy to see the abject failure that Ubisoft has had over and over and over again, even consider their good games with this Prince of Persia. So we'll see where those folks have been disbanded to. Well, does disbanded mean fired?
Yes.
Disbanded, but yes.
The industry's always got creative nomenclature for that kind of stuff. Oh, downsizing. Oh, streamlining. Oh, we're not removing. They've said that about video games, right? Oh, we're streamlining the experience. Bitch, you're removing stuff. You're removing features. Shut up.
TK says Assassin's Creed Shadow isn't failing because of of historical accuracies. It's failing because it directly insulted an entire Asian culture and then tried to blow it off with BS excuses.
Right.
Yeah, thanks, TK. Appreciate that. Flickerbox came in, says it's everywhere. Influencers hyping media like miracle cures. Studios realized hiring viral nobodies with 20 million followers is cheaper and more effective than bothering to create decent content. I think there actually is a lot of truth in what you just said. You know, hiring somebody who has a bunch of, like it's literally cheaper for them to make the content than for you to make the content, and you're guaranteed to hit a larger audience. With that said, we are open to sponsorships here on the channel. So if you got come on in.
My doctor said Mylanta.
That's right. You can sponsor your boys and girls over here at Sad Scrollers. Appreciate that. All right. And there we go. Nice. Okay. Anti-Woke Academy of Arts and Sciences says apparently Ubisoft needs to hire Super's mocap staff. Right. Talking about that. And Taker says, can Blabs be sure that Godzilla didn't follow her back to North America? We don't want a repeat of all that time he destroyed San Francisco, or do we? Thank you, Taker. Festiva says she's not a practicing believer. It's for show. Thank you, Festiva. Mage Leader says, looks like Ubisoft is going to end up lost in the sands of time. I'll see myself out. There you go, Mage Leader. But Heck says there's a couple of things that devoid of context are not worrying, but like Razor said, with the context of the company, it's worrying. Thanks, Hex. Land Brown Bear says her being British offends me more than her being black.
It's true. We didn't fight a revolutionary war against Africa.
Javi says maybe if the main character looked like Aaliyah. And Jake says, oi, bruv, you got a license to say... I can't even say that. Hold on. Oi, bruv.
You got a license to know stuff, do ya?
By the way, did you see the video of the BBC tax? The people...
A new one?
Yeah, there's this guy walking around expecting somebody in, I guess over there in Europe. They said, you need to pay your BBC tax. And she's like, I don't watch the BBC. He's like, yeah, but it's on your TV. And she's like, well, I don't watch it. I watch Netflix. And he's like, but you have it. We gave it to you. So you need to pay us for it.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's like, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to do with the nonsense.
BBC tries to tax you.
Yeah. Brown Gaijin says, all I'm saying is wait until the actor says something royally stupid. It's weird. That's right. Citizen Soul Silver says, I'm trying not to jump conclusions, but it's hard. Hey, I get it. You know, I get the pattern recognition. Stealth Creation says, I'm confused. It's LA and it's smog with Mars lenses. That's right. Talking about the Tesla thing. Mercenary says, this is why Indies and Nintendo are winning. That's right. The Grateful Gamer says, to answer Razor's question, devs stopped knowing how to program AI when pronouns became priority over programming skills.
I'm sure there's been a skill atrophy just with, you know, the ship of Theseus kind of structure of modern studios. You know, we're talking about Assassin's Creed. Is there one person left from the first Assassin's Creed in 2007? I doubt it very, very much.
That's actually a really good question. And it's funny you mentioned that because as I put some super chats down on the bottom, I want to make sure you guys saw those and put those up. But I was watching an interview. Who's that fuckface guy? He went on Joe Rogan and got destroyed. His name's Adam. He used to work for College Humor, and he has a show it's called Adam Knows Everything, or Adam. I think that's his name.
Adam Ant.
Now, Blab, see if you can find that guy. Anyways, he did an interview with Jason Schreier, everyone's favorite video game journalist.
Boy.
Right? And I'll let me say this. They were so close.
Adam Conover?
Yeah, I think that's right. And I listened to the entire interview, and they were so close to getting it right. Because in it, they talk about the video game industry and all the things that were wrong with it, and all the things and how it wasn't healthy. And the one thing that they didn't include in the conversation was talking specifically about how nobody listens to the customer anymore. Everything that they talked about was within the customer itself, inside the industry itself. But they talked about specifically Warcraft and World of Warcraft. And they talked about how back in the day, those guys, it was like a boys club. It was like 95% men in it. And they go on talking about how smoothly the company ran and how everything was awesome. They'd hang out together. They'd go to movies. They all lived in the same apartments together. Then they just go to work and they'd play more of the game after they got off work. And it was, the culture was awesome. And then he talked about, he's like, but there's but it was really problematic. And then that they started adding diversity and women to the workplace and stuff. And my thought was like, why? Why is that problematic? Everything in the company, which the company's job is to make money, was going awesome. So what is problematic from a company standpoint? What is problematic about having a company that is printing money hand over fist? Everybody's having a great fucking time living and breathing this company every moment of the day with their friends and family. So you got to change that?
Well, you know what an aspect of this is that nobody talks about? Where did most of the people who originally designed that learn how to design games? Was it a video game college? Was it video game design class at a university? No, those didn't exist in wide amounts. They were modders. They were people who were self-taught. They learned how to do that from modding. These people are going to universities, and yeah, they're getting their game design education, a pretty bad one, actually. But you know what else they're getting? The same thing everyone else who goes to university gets. Indoctrination. Hardcore indoctrination. During COVID, did anybody pay attention to the story where communist China donated like $50 million to like a Virginia university? Like out of the blue? What do you think they're doing with that money? What do you think is happening with that? You go to these places to learn how to do a trade or something, but that's not really their goal anymore. Their goal is to make compliant statists, essentially. It is, and that's really one of the fountainheads from which DEI and Bridge and all of these initiatives flow, as we've talked about in the past.
Matthew says, I understand what you're saying, Craig, but wasn't there a lot of sexual assault and bad stuff happening at Blizzard at that time? I don't have the timeline. I don't know it 100%, right? I wasn't there, but the way that they spoke about it in this interview specifically, it sounded like all this was happening before all of that stuff, and the sexual assault and stuff happened when the diversity started being
there couldn't be sexual assault allegations if there was no broads, right? Unless they were hiring Milo Yiannopoulos or something.
Well, I know that there was, like the state of California sued them. Then they talked about that in the interview as well. Anyways, I'm going to do a video about it, maybe here in the next day or so. But it was an interesting conversation. But I felt like I was like, you're so close. You're so close to getting it, but you're just missing this giant hole when it comes to all this stuff. So I'll tell you what, we do have this palate cleanser here, and I don't know. I have not seen this. I have not watched it, but it was sent over to us by Ballmung. Ballmung. Thank you for this. Let's go and see what this is. This is called Little Mac is Bad. And there's actually a little bit of me in this for like a second back in the Screw Attack days. Give it up for Kalichi. While this gets pulled up, Blabs, would you please read off some of these super chats real fast?
Student Soul Silver says, just a reminder that the old Blizzard culture are the same people involved in stealing breast milk and the Bill Cosby sweetness. Thank you.
That I'm not familiar with.
Thank you. Jack the Outcast says, Hilda Craig, Razor, and future Ms. Gill have been watching old Universal monster movies. What is your favorite monster?
Frankie. I like Frankie Stein.
Frankenstein. Good band. Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, good ones. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I can't just think of one. Mercenary says, you think this is retro? Look up Fedco, SoCal Teachers Union's version of Costco. We still have the stuff sealed from there in Toys R Us. This is 80s stuff.
Thanks, Mercenary.
Josh says, wife and I bought her grandparents' house. Her grandpa built a record player into the house with speakers in most rooms. Great for when doing chores. That sounds amazing.
That sounds sweet, yeah.
And I bet you works better than anything produced today. Dwight Powers says it's definitely some sort of algorithm or filter with YouTube comments. I've had them disappear on people's videos as soon as I posted them.
Thanks, Dwight.
Gaming Baker says, pull the physical item out, put it in and play. Is Craig talking about his DAC?
No, I'm not talking about my dick.
Oh, I wish I didn't read that. Andrew says, Razor, what are your thoughts on Chris Jericho wrestling and his band Fuzzy?
I like Chris Jericho. And he has a good podcast too.
Barack Nork says, Razor, the voice acting in MW5 Clans has got to be the AI, right? Please be AI, because I can't believe someone got paid to do that. It's too terrible.
Bro, you've got to look up like footage of this because they were so lazy with the voice acting. It's like they did the voice acting remotely, I think. Right? People had their own recording set. So the recording setups are different and you can tell between takes. Like this guy's recording on a different microphone than that person, and that person's listening. There's one where I'm pretty sure they recorded it from a Skype call. There's like audio artifacting that you get when you're talking on Skype. It's incredible. I've never seen anything lazier.
Sooner Soul Silver says, I was unable to get message, send super chat due to having YouTube open on mobile and desktop. Close one of them and refresh and see if that fixes it. Thank
There you
you
go, Kyle.
Clamshade says, of all days to delay AC Shadows, they chose Valentine's Day. Imagine walking up to your date and unironically suggesting playing this upcoming trash.
That's right. Hey, baby, you want to play some Assassin's Creed Shadows? Let's go.
Kane's Brain says, had my GLBT for T Trump sign vandalized. Can we just agree to disagree? Had to try to send this 20 times. Wow. Oh, that's why the spelling hurt my highs. Everything. Thank you.
Thanks, Kane's. Appreciate that. Sorry that got vandalized.
Yeah, it sucks. John says, please tell me you guys use the SS gaskets on public. DB says, there's a great South Park episode for Japanese toilets. I've heard about that. Dirt is King says, Ozzy Osbourne is genetically the most Neanderthal man recorded. I buy it, but it's likely why he's alive.
Yeah, and we got this one from Snake Master. I got this, Blabs. So sorry, Razor, you've lost your shot. Brittany announced she's gotten married to herself. Britney Spears?
I mean, if Federline hit it, I had a chance.
Wait, hold on. Did she actually get married to herself? Is this a thing?
Well, Emma Watson announced years ago she was self-partnered, so why not? Britney Spears?
The most narcissistic thing you can be. I'm married to myself.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. Hey,
didn't a woman in Britain marry herself and then just got a divorce recently?
Well, yeah, she did. Apparently, in 2022, Spears wrote, "The day I married myself."
Narcissism, man. It works in so many ways.
She went down the aisle but alone for the 4th time. The other 3 times with the partner. Wow.
All right.
You go down the aisle with Kevin Federline. Aren't you basically going down the aisle alone? Let's be real.
Kalichi, thank you again for the gifted membership. That's awesome. Do we want to watch this thing? Damn it, where'd it go? Oh, I closed it on accident. Well, I'll tell you what. Well, maybe I'll do a video on it. Balmung, thank you very much for that support. Abdulio says, this will now be the standard. Everyone is super sensitive to it because it's been shoved down our throats so much. The industry brought this on themselves. We started noticing patterns, so the trailer has been raised. So that trailer has raised the red flag. So now we're curious. I get it. Totally get it, Abdulio, for sure. The Major Spike says, did you see Jim Cornette being ass mad about Undertaker having Trump on his show?
I did. It's the best part of this. Seeing people like Batista in his jeans so tight, if he farted his shoes would pop off, getting all cranky about Undertaker and Kane. Meanwhile, like, if you've heard Jim Cornette talk about politics between all the stolen George Carlin jokes, his argument basically is white Republicans racist. Like, there's no thought to it at all. It's just complete clannish nonsense. Meanwhile, Kane's politics, he explains in lengthy economic lectures that you can watch. Like, he knows what he's talking about, and that's clear. Go watch his, like, he did a lecture. I posted it yesterday on like Keynesian economics versus Austrian economics. This is the guy Jim Cornette says doesn't understand politics.
Well, of course. Jim Cornette knows wrestling, though, and that's the most important thing. So
you'd think someone with that flat a skull would be more level-headed.
Mercenary came in with a gifted membership and also came in with a 5. Mercenary, thanks so much for your support today, man. So speaking of vandalism, my car was hit for almost $5,000. The guy that did it pled guilty, and it turned out there was 2 defendants, and now I can sue for lots. Hey, go get it, mercenary! Congratulations. Remember your boys when you're rich and famous. Gator came in and says, Craig and Razorfist, what's your opinion on the usage of the toilet bidet? Would you use one yourself? Why and why not? Great question, Gator. I'm glad you asked that.
Are you?
What an odd thing to say.
I don't know.
Glad
For
you
me,
asked that very specific question about my private parts.
yeah, I don't know. A water gun up the ass sounds a little too delightful for me. I think I'll leave that one alone.
I'll tell you, I have used the bidet before, strictly out of morbid curiosity in Japan. I have used it. Little too much water for my liking in unspecified areas. Once was enough for me. And, I will go back to preferring the old American way of toilet paper.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay. Thank you for your wonderful question. Pre-Don Corp says, Razor, rip Paul Diano. Did you like his vocals in Maiden?
Oh, dude, my favorite Maiden album is Killers. Yes, absolutely. I love those first 2 albums. There's nothing like them.
Delta came in and says, everyone gets their Karen moment. Just never become the Karen. For me, it was a Walmart garden section to cash out. Wasn't in a rush, so I let the oldie behind me ahead. A lady was furious I did that because she left the line and came back behind 5 people. Well, Delta, it seems like you were a nice guy in that situation. Shane came in and says, what do you guys think about Review Tech faking his own unraveling? He's also threatening to kidnap Blabs and Melanie Mack. What?
What? No, that's fake news.
Yeah. I don't have a whole lot to say about, I will say this.
Didn't he delete his Twitter and like his YouTube? So like, how do you get these sources? Just saying.
I'll just say, well, no, he's still streaming, I believe.
He deleted his YouTube, or is he have a second channel?
He has a second channel. I'll say this about Rich. I hope that he gets the help he gets. Right.
Yeah. Like an Olympic powerlifting team to get him from room to room. Yeah.
Well, he was very smarmy. I've said all along, Side Scrollers is the #1 video game podcast on planet Earth. And I stand by that. Right. And from a numbers perspective, we're right there, motherfucker. And he was really smarmy about the idea of like, how's that #1 treating you? Like when we just started, and I'm like, we're doing just fine, Rich. How you doing, buddy? Like we're doing just fine, buddy.
How's he doing? Over 1 million subscribers, or maybe less than that, and a few thousand views a video? Like what the hell?
He's getting literally dozens, which is great. Which like I will not view shame anybody.
Autistic asteroid.
Yeah, I will not view shame anybody ever.
Sorry. Autistic asteroid?
People have no idea. This prick took shots at me like years ago because he's still butt mad about me calling him out over his Michael Jackson disinformation. And I had recorded a whole rant basically ending this man's career. And a mutual friend of ours prevailed on me. Don't release that. You'll just kick up a bunch of drama. That man saved Rich from Revutek's career that day.
You should release it.
It was a full-blown roast. It was pretty epic.
His career's done anyways. Let's go ahead and put it out there, man. Like put some dirt on him. Like I said, I do.
Razor's the better person.
Yeah.
Move on.
I think that is like I said, I hope that he gets the help he needs because he's very clearly going on. He has some like with most of these people who are critical of me and Side Scrollers and us as a group, right? Like these people very clearly have issues. And I hope that they get the help that they need because they're not doing anybody any good. And I will continue to say that. I don't wish any negative things. Now, is it fun to laugh at their, yes, it is fun to laugh at them. But at the same time, I hope that they get the help that they need. Shaker came in talking about the vinyl, says sometimes songs sound better, crustier. It's true. And Ohana says, love that hat, Blabs. Can we hear the voice?
Well, I'm sick, but we're having means family. Nobody gets left behind.
Thank you, Blabs. Everyone's heart just melted with joy. John says, I agree with your tweet, Craig, that Mario Kart 8 is the best game ever made. And it has to have the best OSD ever made too. Now, I said it may be the best video game ever made. And I say that strictly from a I said Mario Kart 8 may be the best video game ever made. And I say that in that it's like it's the best video game ever, right? It's not like a single player story that you're playing. It's just sitting on your couch with your friends, playing some Mario Kart and family. I love that. I love everything about that. And it's great. And it's had a long shelf life, like from literally 2 consoles. Snake says some normal man has modded the erotica photo genre the erotica photo genre back into the Dead Rising remake. Oh, nice. Take that, modern audience. There you go. Do you see that they removed that? The like when you took pictures in the remake or in the old school.
Oh, yeah, because there were in Dead Rising, if you took a picture from a certain angle on like a girl or sometimes even a guy, it would be like there'd be a picture, it'd be like erotic.
Yes.
It usually wasn't erotic, by the way. It was a gag, right? Because it would be like a picture of an elbow or something.
Right. Mercenary says Bible quote sticker plus red hat caused caused car damages. Ah, I see, Mercenary. And David says, don't be the better man, Razor. Sometimes just be the okay man and release the video. All right. That is a great place to wrap it up for the day. Squatch Hammer says, would anyone want to try the 3 seashells? I don't know what you're referencing there, Squatch Hammer, but thank you very much. And Lone Wolf says they did the same thing with House of Ashes. It was very leftist and anti-American. All right. And DeBrew That Do says, I do my best thinking in the restroom. Should I put my resume or should I leave it off? You should definitely send your resume. All right. Especially any business resume. I'm open to talking to anybody. Reese says, I always mistook Sears as Sega as a kid. Went to Chicago and went to the Sega building too. That's funny. All right, cool. All right, let's put a wrap on it right there and finish up with Lad's thoughts on Spoonie. What happened to Spoonie? Something happened to Spoonie?
No, nothing. I've always been a big fan of Spoonie.
I don't really know any. Spoonie and I's career have been fairly adjacent to each other. They've ran parallel, right? Yeah. But we've never had a whole lot of interaction. I think we had him at an SGC one year.
Yeah. You should give him a ring. See if he does interviews every now and then. He would he might agree to be a guest. He would not agree with anyone's politics here, but he would be a great guest.
Well, that's the beauty of it. We don't need to agree with anybody's politics, right? For you to come on and talk about.
Dude, his videos, his Final Fantasy 13 video is like multiple parts, is genius. I love that whole series and his Ultima retrospective. Dude, the guy's very, very talented.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, let's say au revoir. You guys don't forget, you guys can head over to therealgameawards.com, become a member, use promo code Alyssa, get $5 off your annual membership. We are in the building phases right now. We are actually actively looking for nominations. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Closing in on 104,500 normal men. And you can go find Blabs' channel in the description down below. And of course, his Razor's channel down below, of course. With that said, Razor, how about you take us out, my friend?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, side scrollers around the world, for Blabs and Craig, and also people who aren't sick, Godspeed!